Melanin, creativity, the flow of energy, justice, politics, money, jobs. A lot of things to talk about on the stage, especially when I'm addressing my melanin field individuals. And we decided to put it all in a playbook. That's right, you heard me, playbook. The guidelines to the melanated. Tune in and listen to the Melanin Playbook. We're waiting. Hey, and welcome to the Melanin Playbook.
What up, though?
What it do? What it do?
What's going on?
So we are super excited to be here, and half of us got off work, so get us. But we are super excited to be here, and we're gonna talk about one topic that goes to the Black community all the time, which is blood thicker than water? The melanin family. Okay, well, that started quick. All right, let's go ahead and get on.
Heck
No time wasted.
No. I don't think it is.
Yeah, no.
Jeez.
It ain't.
It ain't.
I mean, in some cases, to me, it is, but most time it ain't. It's not, because I have always had this old saying: your family can be at the football game or basketball game, have front row seats, and barely be cheering you on because they you know that they so used to you and this and the third, but you got some strangers in the nosebleed section cheering, screaming, hoping you see them, but you can't see them, but you can see your family. So sometimes you get no support.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say.
Basically, frontline disappointment.
And you got people that don't know you, paid $30 for their ticket, can binoculars and trying to see you and shit, but they supporting you. They got your shirts, your jerseys, all your products. Motherfuckers has got box seats, ain't did shit.
Run! I'm just joking. Sorry, go ahead.
Man, I don't like it because I don't like titles. Me personally, I pretty much created my family, like the people that are real close to me. So, like, I can't really say, I mean, I have my blood around me too, but the people that are really, really close to me, I created it. I manifested that. So, like, I can't go with the blood thicker than water because it's based on what type of energy you giving me. Because I bounce anybody. To be quite honest, like, I'm sorry, I don't care what title you got. Like,
you know me, I'll be transparent in front of my folks, and you already know exactly what our rocking vibe is with each other. And I think we do better apart than we do up under each other. And that's just being honest. I think with family, we put so much respect on the title that we don't understand that you don't have to like your family. You don't have to want to be a part of your family just because you're born into your family. But I think we tied in to be like, oh, that's my brother. I'm a ride. I gotta like him because he blood. It's like, man, I can't say what I want to say, but forget that dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it'll be the bad ones with the most chaos going on, and you just like, I'm gonna stick right by.
Right. No. Man, what's that meme on TikTok when they be like, is that your man? Yep.
Stick by him.
And I'm a stick by him. I'm stick back. That's mine. That's mine.
I feel like it's too much expectation on the word family. Like, some family expect you to do this, expect you to do that, but
I can say it on mine. Look, it's mine.
They don't hold you to
stick right by him.
I'm
a stick
they
right
don't hold
by him.
themselves to the same expectation versus a stranger. You never met. They don't expect nothing back. You can give them $20 a day, and they be like, "Oh, this is good," but your family gonna hold you accountable for that $5 you gave them 6 years ago.
Okay, but I'm gonna say something to that though. So, do you ever think like, okay, in the melanin community, do you think because it's a lack of us investing in ourselves that we invest in each other deeper than we should, and so then it's kind of like, now when I have kids, I didn't invest in my space and my time, so I'm investing in my kids so much that I'm giving everything. So when they're not what I want them to be or not doing what I want them to do, it breaks the dynamic
up. So in my mind, and I was thinking about this. Actually, it's crazy that we're talking about this topic because I was talking to my mother earlier, and we were talking
What's up,
about
moms? Sorry.
correct. Um, we were talking about family and how unconsciously in our culture we're passing generational curses through the phrase family
Message.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
because we're willing to. But I mean, like we're like literally
Had to
we're
drop it in
doing,
there. Message.
bro. Like, but we're doing it unconsciously, and we don't even realize that we're doing it because we're willing to.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have family members that's like, if we struggle, let's do it together as family. If we fail, let's do it together as family. I don't like you, but it doesn't matter because we're still family. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
yo, for me, I'm not gonna lie. I love me so much that I'm
It
willing
looked like
to
a note was gonna come out in
ex
that moment. Like
bro.
Bounce them all. I'm telling
right.
you, bankhead
Right.
I'm
bounce.
willing, yo, I'm willing to excommunicate
We bankhead bouncing.
all of you.
Right.
Yo, I'm willing to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
I feel
yo,
like
I'm a,
it go back to what you said about failing or struggling. So if the whole family failing and then you get a good job and you like, yo, you know what I'm saying? That's when the hate and and the non-supportive people come in.
That's our
And
community
it
though.
shouldn't be that way
That
because I
goes
want to better
back.
myself and
That's
you
back.
should be better at yourself.
That's back
I,
to house versus field. And I ain't gonna spill about the last word, but I'm gonna say that's back to house versus field. And that's where that hate started at. And then it's like, you had your ones that was out in the field and you had your ones that was in the house getting treated different. And when we thought that one of us was getting it better than the other, that was the hate of existence. It's not fair. It's not fair. I couldn't help that I was this, I couldn't help it was that. But we didn't see our strong points as us as being individuals. Like, I'm a gym guy. I'm more physical, and everything I do creatively is more physical. I have great mind thought, and processing mentally, but I do more things physically. Whereas Stephen does more things. Well, Jahmez do more things on a mental level. I'm not jealous because he can do stuff on a mental level, just like he ain't jealous that I can do stuff more a physical level. And it shouldn't be. It
no,
should be where we're pushing each other to be our best selves, regardless of the roads that we take to get there. The problem with it is I see eyes turn down a neighborhood and I want to run down that neighborhood with her. And I'm like, that ain't my street. My street ain't here. I need to keep going 2 blocks down and make a left. And that's where I'm supposed to be at. But that street look like ain't no houses on there yet. And there's one house at the end of it. So let me plant my tent up and try to get me some land before somebody else comes. Like, that's the thought process. It's like, no,
and
stay in your lane.
but
Yeah.
side note, food too delicious for me to be worried about the physical. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
Like
gotta think
side
about
note,
it.
like I'm
True.
sorry, like food
Blood,
delicious.
blood
I'm cool
clots,
with it.
water always runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Blood
nah,
clots, check. Blood clots, water always runs.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
right.
always flow,
But
baby.
but no,
So
all
if all
jokes
right, so
aside,
then let's take it
I
past
will
the
I will say when it comes to knowing my lane and understanding my lane, blood thicker than water. Um, blood will blood will tend to unintentionally trip you up. Only because we do what we know or what we understand consciously, like my mental.
I go past that. Blood will clot on you. And it's all about how you deal with those clots and what you do to them that makes a
I
difference.
I try to.
Take your blood thinner.
Right.
Okay. In that
I
jump
so
out.
Thin it
so
out.
I understand family is different for this collective. I know we are a collective of misplaced and broken individuals in terms of the treatment and the mindset of what we understand of our surroundings. So I try
And
to
water
live
get you too.
above.
But
I
it's
try to live
fluid. You can
above.
let it flow.
I try to live above what I know potentially could hurt me or hold me back, because at the end of the day, they cannot help but clot only because clotting is what they know. They
But do
can't
you
help that.
but do you feel like that you will give them some type of pedestal, like you pretty much making an excuse for them? Like, okay, it's okay
No,
because I know you're gonna do that.
no,
Just because you
so
my mama,
DMX,
I'ma
no,
just ride.
DMX said, I hope that when I see a snake, I'm able to identify the snake to be a snake. So when it bites, I'm not surprised that it's biting me to poison. I just hope that I recognize it to be a snake. So, really, again, I expect a spider to crawl, a dog to bark. I expect a bird to fly. I just hope that I have the clarity and the understanding that it does. Go ahead.
I would say a family member to me is like baking a cake. Sometimes you can put all the right ingredients, it comes out perfect, everything is beautiful the way it is. Sometimes it's missing ingredients that you don't find out are missing until the cake is baked and it's too late to go back and fix it. I think like that's family. I think sometimes it's missing components that exist within the unit, and because of it missing, we know it after the outcome, and we don't choose to scrap that cake. We still try to serve it up to individuals as we got a perfect product when we don't. And it's like, so instead of saying, you know what, I messed this cake up, let's restart it over and let's try to build it from scratch again. And now we know what's missing. We don't do that in the melanin community. We are accept me how you're going to accept me, and I'm gonna roll with it. And that's it. And that's even in the family. And I think that's the main reason when you do water versus blood, water is more fluid. Y'all met each other at different chapters in life. It's the current of where you guys are flowing that sets the tone. Versus blood is like, I've always been here, and I'm judging it off that. If you are in your body, if blood is known to clot for you, it's going to forever clot for you. It's not something that's going to stop once you hit 16 or once you hit 30. It's going to be a condition that stays going. And I think like in our community, we hold the past over each other's head so much that that's why the blood is, not thicker than water. It's like because we don't allow it to move. We when it clots, we see the clot and we don't get a blood thinner, we get nothing. We just let it clot until the body is now shutting down from lack of blood flow.
I don't think it's
And
necessarily of you. I think it's more so on the lines of the expectation. We create how we view a person, and it's not necessarily the reality. So when we're sitting there and we're like, okay, I'm viewing my mom as a person. Now you don't put your own expectations on who you want your mom or your dad to be in your head, and you're trying to mash it up with who they
yeah.
actually are. So that's when we get confused on things and we get upset. We be like, well, blood ain't thinking. Like that's when all those comparisons come in, when it really should be, okay, just like Jahmez said, I'm recognizing you for who you are and just
But I don't
going
think
with
we're
that.
taught to do that though. Like when you have mom and dad and parents in there, like it's a different view of them because you come in the world with the expectation you're supposed to protect me. You're supposed to cover me. That is the expectation. That's not something that is just taught to you, but that's something that it's a natural component of your vibe to your parents. It's just that's what you think automatically as a kid. You automatically bond from mom inside of her womb, so you are in a connection with this individual to think, hey, you're gonna protect me above all because you did these 9 months I was in here. So you have that expectation, but we don't face reality. I'll say I agree with Jahmez on that. We don't face the reality of the situation that now we do see the movements of this individual and can set in the stone that they're not protecting us in the light that we choose to. And a lot of times it's not they're not doing it because they don't want to, is that we have developed personalities and our expectations change as we grow.
True.
I, I, my mindset on that though is right. I can honestly say, for the most part, and I was speaking to and I'll say one of my elders. When it came to that generation, though, we were all raised for the most part kind of similar in terms of the treatment of us, the expectation of us, the behavior of us, what they wanted from us. And when you turn 18, and some of us younger, because I left home at 16, 17, and I've been on my own since. So my thing is that when it came down to it, culturally, we all came from a background that was passing on the lacks of their generation, in my mind, only because I understand being, in the words of us, melanated. I know what I aspire to do and what I want out of life, but I also understand that I can only get the maximum of what I was brought upon and their understanding. Because right now, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. So I know growing up and and family, how, and here's an example. On this panel right here, we're all entrepreneurs. How many entrepreneurs do any of y'all know in your family right now? It's real quiet.
One.
Jesus Christ, he's in my family, and I know it very
Oh,
well.
no one.
I know it. I know God. He's the creator.
Well, nah, like
He's the
on my
ultimate
dad's side, I got
entrepreneur.
entrepreneurs.
The
but
ultimate.
but but
No.
I
You
say that to
asked. You
say,
asked.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'm
got
no, I
saying.
did.
entrepreneurs on my dad's
I
side. So
did.
yeah,
But I say that to say, how can I coach or teach what I myself do not understand
true.
or know? I can't expect you to groom me for something you do not know how to groom nor cultivate yourself. Like I can't. And it's hurtful because you have to, it's almost like one of those situations, and I tell Hurt this all the time. Sometimes I get angry and frustrated because I have to accept things for what they are or who they are, even though I know it's hurtful or unfair to me. I accept them for who or what they are, the quicker I can get over them and progress forward. So it's ugly because my progression is at the mercy of me accepting, releasing, and moving.
Yeah, that's
And
usually
it
how it is.
and it sucks. And I say it to her all the time. It is unfair. It's not fair at all because I'm really, really trying, but it doesn't really matter because if I'm not going to be, it really doesn't. If I'm not going to be the best version of myself, I am 100% at the mercy of me forgiving and moving forward. I never said forget, but I said forgiving and moving forward.
And don't backlog.
And that kind of goes back to the mental health part where all y'all was saying, like with the blood clots and stuff, or the clotting, and then your family being there for you, or doing this and that. And if so, mentally, if you see somebody who you don't know supporting you and doing things that you had expectations of your family to do, that causes conflict. When all you had to do was communicate. Communication is really bad in the melanin community.
Yeah, I mean it is, and I mean it's something overlooked, just like mental health. Is overlooked in our community as well. But it's like I think when you have, for me personally, when I broke off from my family, it was everything you bring to the table for me seems negative at this point, and I can't exist in this space, and I'm not going to choose to exist in this space just because we have the same blood running through us. I'm not going to choose to do that because people love to say, I'm your blood, I'm your blood, I'm your blood. But if you break down what blood does in the body, it gets to somewhere quick. It keeps the life moving. It keeps everything pumping. You know, if you cut yourself or you get hurt, blood flow is rushing there to clot up so that it can protect the body from the inside. That's what blood is supposed to do. And sometimes, you know, we have people in our camp that are not doing that. They're not running to our safety. They're not giving us the positive messages. They're not building us up, even though, you know, in some ways, like Jahmez said, you bring it down how it was brought to you. You can't help it. But the thing about it is, it's when you learn to be different, or you dare to be different, as we say it, that you learn. Like I left that group, and I remember having a conversation with my friend Strina. And I love Serena because she's such an earthy spirit. Eyez has spoke with her on the phone, but she's such an earthy spirit, and she had issues with her mother, and her mother like literally did her completely wrong, and her mother literally was lying to her about who her father was, and by the time that Serena figured out who it was, she had seen this man her whole childhood, not knowing that this man was her father. And by the time it came out that was her father, he literally died in a motorcycle accident. So you never got to know him, all because of that type situation. And so her and her mother kept beef and stuff with each other. And then Strina finally hit that point where she was like, I can respect my mother for who she is as a role, you know, as the role she plays in my life, but I don't have to respect the person, and I can exit from the individual. And me and her having that conversation, it helped me because I was like, I know how bad it was in my family. I was like, now I can respect who y'all are as adults because I'm an adult, and I'm supposed to give every adult on this planet common respect. But now I don't have to respect your type. I don't have to deal with you because you're my mother or you're my father or you're my brother or you're my sister. I don't have to. Me and my sister don't even talk right now. I'm not even ashamed to say that. Like, she messaged me and told me we ain't family no more. All right, cool. And I cut off and broke off. I'm like, do what you do. At the end of the day, that's what it is. What it is. I'm not finna struggle to keep family in or set myself back in life trying to hold on to a group of people that is not trying to hold on to me. Like, I'm just not finna do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we get so caught up with those titles. Like, I tell anybody that's in my circle, my family, don't let nobody play in your face. Whether it's me, whether it's your blood, I don't care who it is. It could be your boss. You don't let nobody play in your face. At the end of the day, we are responsible for our own sanity. We are responsible for our own, if you want to call it happiness, the own love that we have for ourselves. We are responsible for that. And if someone is hindering that or causing some type of conflict within that, it's not worth it. Like, you can't afford it. That's beyond your that's living outside your means at that point. So
that's a bill I'm not gonna pay. Just say that. That's a bill I'm not gonna pay.
The we family. You supposed to give me this, or you supposed to do this for me. You supposed to give me a ride. You left me. You had me this blah 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 blah.
So here's my question to the group. So what do you do when it comes to, and maybe this is a longer topic for another day, but
Bro,
what
I
do
thought
you
that was
do?
when he said, "What do you do?" I thought it's when you done all you can.
No,
You do this
no,
right here.
I was gonna say.
Just stand.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, well, you crazy. So, like, what do you do when change? Because, mind you, we're talking about blood thicker than water, but eventually change has to come.
yeah.
And sometimes to see the change in family or people, right? Because for me right now, family and people kind of run hand in hand for me personally. And I say that because I treat people and family the same. I look at I'm about to say it, her as family, and that, you know what I'm saying? He runs, and I've known him. I break bread with him, which I take personally. If I break bread with you, oh, we family.
Yeah.
Right.
Because yo,
Oh,
you
I need
you
$20.
eating at my table. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But that's a conversation for another day. Because
I need some
I
mashed
jump on you.
potatoes.
Yo, I jump on you. But
It
so
didn't have
you
mashed
know,
potatoes. It was mac and cheese and steak and some
mac and cheese
cream
and steak. Yeah, you feel me? No.
and some French fries and a burger
but
and
I
some drink.
hold them the same. My question is now, okay, blood thicker than water. How do we implement change today?
We implement standards.
Right. Guidelines.
So
Like
And
you,
allow
and you
it's
hold
more.
people accountable.
There it
You can
is.
change the flow when you start giving. Me and Eyez had this conversation earlier. When you give them what they are due, you can make
Okay.
change. I'm not finna hold like my
Got
family,
to
me and
give it
my
up.
family dynamic went great when I took your BS off me and said, "Here you go." I can't do it for the both of us anymore. I think it's when you start to hold them accountable and say, "I'm gonna give this to you," and if you are willing enough to take it and fix it, then we can get it. But if you're not, then we are in the same spot, which means you go over here with these other people. It's just that's just how the flow of it goes. I'm not. That's
That goes
me
back to what I
willingly
said.
taking a generational curse and holding on to it and feeling okay with it.
And that's what I just
so
said. Communicate. That's the change. Sometimes you just have to talk to them. If they're not willing to meet you halfway or listen to you, hear you out, then I mean, what you said.
I'm gonna be transparent. I had a conversation
Bankhead
with
bounce.
my mom one time, and this was when my brother was in the hospital, and he was like freaking out. My brother suffers from bipolar type 2, and he was in the hospital having the whole thing. And at this point, I was the only person in the family that could calm him down because I was the only other individual that suffered from mental health too. So it was easier for me to be, a common peace for him. And I remember my mom was on the phone. We were talking, and I'm giving all these positive messages because I'm learning how to cope myself. So I'm giving all these positive messages. And my mama bust back out of me and said, "Everybody can't be in a good positive mood like you." And I was like, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" Like
right.
in the melanin community, are we not supposed to be happy? Is it a standard that we don't aspire to? Like what is that? And I remember I was baffled when she said it. I was like, so the expectation of me as a melanin individual is to still be mean and hateful over, I guess, everything that
Yeah.
has happened. And I
Hold
was
all
like,
the emotions.
I'm not finna do that because I'm not being the change. How can I say I want change without being the change? So it was certain aspects of seeing that in my family or moments like that. And I was like, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna forever be positive with you when I'm around you because if I don't continue to show you that, you'll never learn that exists in the world. So we do have our role to play in keeping the family together, but we don't have an obligation to do it. That like it's like at that point, I can be with you or I cannot be in existence with you because when we pose it to some book that we're gonna talk about on a different conversation, when we get up there, we're gonna know each other anyway. That's what the great book says. But uh, why we got
My question to you and the collective is, but if the change is supposed to happen to you, with you,
mm-hmm.
if the chain that was supposed to be broken is supposed to be made with you, how do you not then? Is my
I can
question.
tolerate you, but I don't have to deal with you.
Boom. Thank
You
you.
got to know how to manage it. Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's something that is going to
Thank you.
hinder you
Thank you.
from
I'm gonna take one of
proceeding
them
on the path that you're trying to go on, whatever it may
because
be, you got to
it's
shake it.
true.
Like,
But,
we can't keep
but
holding on to stuff just because of a title. Like, that's not enough anymore.
no, no, not at all. But my role in my life is to be, in my life and my generation, is to be a chain breaker. I
Right?
understand that I am going to be somewhat.
Okay,
I
Tasha.
aspire to. I break every chain. No, but um, I aspire to be a first generation millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. But in the same breath, with the change that I'm aspiring to be, I understand the only way that change and acceptance comes is with me.
So you're gonna let your light shine on your family and hope they see it. But what if they don't see it and they're blind?
I can't I can't make you nor force you to
Exactly. So I can
see
tolerate
it,
you, so I don't have to
but
deal with you.
I don't have to tolerate you
but
either.
I don't.
I
I'm not
don't.
saying feminine.
I'm
I
not. I
don't
don't.
have to
I don't have to
tolerate.
tolerate you. Like to me, if I'm tolerating you, I'm putting myself in the energy and the space to do something that I don't want to do. That's negative towards me, because that's the only time you don't want to tolerate a person is when you have deemed them as negative to you. So why
Or
would
I
you
can love you,
tolerate?
but I ain't gotta like you.
I ain't got. I can give you the common decency and that I give any human being walking this planet, but I don't have to give you a penny more or a penny less. Like that's me. I give you common decency and common respect. You come around, I meet, I agree. I'm not gonna bust them. I love you when I don't mean it. I'm not gonna sit here and go through all. I'm not gonna do that, because if I say I love you, I mean I love you like the zebra cake I'm gonna eat when we get off this live. Like that's how I love you. I don't love you in a manner that I will dive in front of buses and crap for you. That's not how I'm loving you. I love you like this black and mild I'm gonna light up when I get ready to go on my patio. That's the love that you get as a regular person and individual when I don't deem you to be a part of this tier of responsibility. Like for Jahmez, I would push him out the way of a bus. I would push Eyez out the way of a bus. I would push Queen out the way of a bus. I ain't finna do that for Trump. I'm sorry. Like but I would give you the common decency.
True.
But that's common decency, pushing somebody like this. The thing.
No, it's
like
telling you the bus that's coming is a common decency. Get your ass out the street is a common decency. Going in the street with you is an obligation. That's not how that goes.
So you mean like if I'm your family, you don't like me, you see me stranded on side of the road, you gonna drive right by me? Or you gonna pull over, and pick me up because I'm your cousin, or I'm
gonna pull over and say, "You good? You hurt? Everything's fine? All right then."
Yeah, I need a ride though.
Hey, let me get a ride though.
The way my car set up, if I put two people in it, it'll shut down. I can't do it.
Oh, but I'm your fam.
And I'm gonna say I understand that, but the way my car set up, if two people sit in it, it
But
cuts
we
off for some reason.
blood though. You
So
supposed
I
to make
can't have you
room.
in here like that.
You okay,
it's something with these Chevys. They do that when two people sit in them, they cut off. So I can't do it with you. But I go get you some gas.
Now see me the way I'm set up, I would do it. Just because
if I did it, you got to sit on the back seat. You can't sit next to me. I don't even want to look at you in the corner of my eye.
No. I got to be able to see you. You can't sit back there. That's fine.
Yeah, you be stealing.
I don't like
see behind right there. Exactly. I didn't see you. Sit right here.
Again, if you sit in one of these Chevys, the two seaters, they cut off for some reason. Look it up. It's a recall.
I think we just got to get out of the headspace of feeling like blood holds more than what it does. Like we literally have gotten to a headspace. Like I get it, because like naturally we are like tribe people. Like whatever.
Day, that's what
yeah, like that's all we had, but we have a different headspace now. Like,
I think we have blood holes comes with an expectation.
But even with the expectation, like, because we ain't blood.
But see, when the expectation gets involved with imagination, that's how you get BS.
That's what I said.
Because like you created this mental thing in your mind of the dream of this individual, and then you're like, I'm not getting it, so I'm frustrated. And it's like, no, that was you. That ain't had nothing to do with this individual. That was you, because they showed you their flaws.
What my shirt say?
Don't
ask me for.
That's why I don't.
And mine say exactly what you do when family come to my house. Pac-Man, don't get on up out of here. I can't. Don't stay up in here. You can't stay for long. Pac-Man. Right. Yep. Get on out.
I think we just need to lower expectations on humans. Like expectations, I feel are for flawless individuals.
I don't think we need to lower expectations. I think we need to learn to view realities.
That's lowering the expectation. When you put expectation over reality, that's when you get messed up in the head. Like you that's when you get anxiety. That's when you start stressing. That's when you start worrying, because you have painted this picture and put expectation over the reality of what things are. Like I feel like if we remove the expectation on every human being, don't even have high not not to say don't have high expectations for yourself, but allow room for growth. When we put in the expectation, we remove the room for growth. We like, okay, well, this is how I gotta be, and you need to be this. You need to be there. I don't care if you 2 years old. I need you to know how to count to 15 right now.
Like, because you got to hold this money, and when y'all send you to school with this much money, I need to come back with my change of $7.58.
Like, we hold it too high, and we get.
Don't shake your head like that, Jahmez. That is how the black family is. I sent you to school with $10. I need my $3.78 when you get back, because you said it was only $6.22 when you left the house. Don't sit up there and come back with this less change.
Right. But like I said, I created my family. Like I feel like, I still have my blood around me, but the people that I deem as family, I created, I manifested it. I put the energy out there, and that's what I got back. I got the family that I didn't really feel like I got when I was younger. So I have that now because that's what I created.
So to me, and I want to say, even now, you didn't, and this is me personally, I don't think you manifested the family, you manifested the environment that had a requirement on, if I deal with Eyez, this is the expectation.
Okay, boy.
This is, you so stupid. This is what is expected of me. If and I tell Herc this all the time, y'all, if you my friend, these are my expectations. You got to let me know what you expect of me, because I understand what I'm willing to give as a friend. Because I'm not the world's greatest friend. Let's just be honest. Like, yo, Jesus still working on me. So, you know what I'm saying? But there are some things that are non-negotiables for my friends. There are certain behaviors that are non-negotiable, energies that are non-negotiable when it comes to you're around me. If you cannot meet those 100%, I am gully enough. I'm too about it.
All right.
And I tell this.
No limit soldiers.
Y'all, I tell this to anybody around me. I said it at the beginning. I love me so much.
As you should.
That this behavior, I don't tolerate. This energy. Yo, and I tell her all the time, yo, if the energy too heavy, I can't deal with that. Because my energy, is so positive. My belief system, immaculate. There is nothing that I can't accomplish. There's nothing that if I don't put my mind to it that I can't do. So I cannot have this type of energy, that type of culture, that type of mindset around me, whether we're family or not.
And I get it. Like, I wouldn't say it's expectation for me, because I didn't set expectations for any of the people around me as far as verbal expectations. It was just given. My energy put it out there. That's why I would say it's more of a manifestation, because I put that energy, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I got back. I didn't have to tell Herc that, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. It's just the energy we mesh together, where we both pretty much have the same views on how we expect someone around us to be. So it wasn't something that I had to verbally
suggest. I would say mine was like vibes. Like for me, it was vibes. It was like just that feeling of coming into contact with somebody, and you already directly feel like you know them already. Yeah. It's like an instant connection. It's almost like we were relatives in a past life with each other, but we're not now. And we are now addressing each other in a new form, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. To me, so this is why I disagree with that. Personally, I love it, but I hate it, because when those type of people fail you, how hard do you take it?
Hard.
It would be hard.
You do, but I think you would take it hard with anybody. Like
no,
it would be like family. Taking it hard with family.
No, it's not. because if I verbalize it, right, I leave, and I hate this word. It makes me want to vomit, but I leave no ambiguity when it comes to people.
Where the exit button? I'm
I
getting mad about this.
Wait a
Yo, it
minute.
makes me
Hold
want
on. I
to
gotta
vomit.
cut you
It
off
makes me
for a
Nah,
second.
let me hold on.
yo, it makes me
You
want to
just
vomit.
said that God is
Boom.
working on you. So you got all of these expectations. But sir, it sounds like you ain't shit sometimes.
No, 100% I am. But I say that I automatically
Where the
say
exit
it.
is over here.
So
It's
if
this
you
way, right? The door right here.
if
This
you
left door.
if you
All right.
yo,
Move out the
if
way.
you
I'm trying to go home.
you so crazy. If you fail me, I'm not as disappointed as the normal individual because I specifically stated my expectation. So when you fail or fall short, I accept it for what it is and I know what it is moving forward. And I can't say I you didn't understand it because I always stated it.
That's
Hurt.
not
Every
expectation. That's looking at a reality of something though. When you
facts,
put
but
the
hurt.
expectation on it, that's when your feelings get hurt because you're expecting someone to be something and you're not looking
That
at the
I
reality of it.
that no,
I
but
say that.
I specifically told you what it was. Hurt.
And my
Have
thing
I
is you
not
shouldn't
told
expect
you
nothing you
what it
can't
was?
give.
No, but I can give what I expect. 100%.
Oh, you can.
Otherwise, I wouldn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't expect it.
As it's
Okay.
written.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. I couldn't. No. Now let's be clear.
But there's a
I
lot of
But
people
you
in the
specific.
said,
community that
if
do
you're my friend,
expect
sometimes you got to
what
keep
they
it a bean
don't
because
give.
sometimes. So
Second.
that's what you said.
You said what? Say
Hey,
repeat it.
You was like, sometimes I'm a sucky friend. That's what you said.
Yo, but I am only because I know my nature tends to
Okay.
jump up. I'm an introvert that extroverts well. But
Okay.
I'm 100% an introvert. I'm an introvert because I'm a thinker. I'm
Ooh, this hat is hot.
always
So you
thinking.
would
I'm
love
always thinking about my
somebody
next.
or you would fuck with them, but you might not
Girl,
express it or show them all the time.
No, I'll show them all the time, but a lot of times it comes. I'm not willing to sacrifice anything to necessarily appease the relationship.
Oh, that's hard.
I mean, I wouldn't say
And
sacrifice
that's my
because,
truth. That's my truth.
well,
He's so
I
crazy.
respect it. I wouldn't say necessarily sacrifice, but like being queen, go back like literally from birth.
me
Full
and
flats.
Mariah go
So
back like
like
babies and pacifiers.
my
Full
my
flats.
level of, I wouldn't say expectation because I know she's flawed just like I am. So I wouldn't put that too much. We give too much. And that's when we don't really genuinely vibe with a person. I vibe with her, I see her grow.
Right.
It's certain stuff that she do. I be like, man, come on now. But I love her.
Right.
So it's like I'm not gonna hold you to a certain level and then just drop you off because I genuinely love you. Like
Like I'm not gonna
I
say
can't.
like expectations are bad though. I think expectations, to be honest, is full of imagination, so to
It
speak.
is.
It's the thought of what we expect from another individual in our minds, what we expect this individual to be. And I think when you have realistic expectations, which is I take in accountability that you are a grown adult, you are another living organism, and you do have your own mindset and how you function. Then it's the expectations I set will be catered to that. And I do feel, I get what Jahmez is saying, having a certain level of respect or what I can deal with. Because I know for me, as a person that deal with mental illness, they do have to be some stuff set out that is like,
I'm
this is what I
boundaries.
can't do. Like I can't,
Right.
it is some stuff I can't do without. And it's not because of you or my lack of trust with you or my lack of care with you, but it's me protecting myself in that moment too. Because believe it or not, any situation, whether it's family, whether it's for, an emotional relationship or whatever, we don't walk in unexposed to everybody and expect to get something positive sent to us. Now, I do get what I was saying because there are those individuals that you will be around, you exist around enough, and you are fully in knowledge of what they are capable of and what they would do and what they won't do, and this and that. Now you've been around each other, you are intertwined enough to understand the expectations you guys have for each other, so it doesn't need to be verbally laid out when you already know it. But I do understand running into someone and meeting somebody and setting the expectation, like Jahmez said, is important in today's time. It's important. I would say it's important because at this point, it's not safe for everybody out in this world. So if you are bringing somebody into your camp, then there does need to be expectations and guidelines set out for those type of individuals. Whereas we met each other at a time where safety really did exist and people caring for you was a natural thing. And there were no ulterior motives when you ran into an individual. Now you question human beings as a whole. So yeah, I can understand both points about, the expectation and versus vibe situation.
Yeah.
True. You gotta train people how to treat you.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just unsaid. You got to experience people, and that's what
Right, man.
I prefer to experience someone. Don't tell me nothing, because that's your view. That's how you view yourself. But I want to experience you and get my own reality of who you are. And like we put, like I said.
But see, we do it, but they don't.
We put too much on it, but
because we would go lay up with somebody real quick without expecting for them to have our care in mind, and expect for them to treat our body well, expect for them to engage with us the way we think we should be engaged into. And then when it goes south, they weren't trying to be anyway. No, you open the door. I think when it comes to blood is thicker than water, the one difference about those situations is blood is a house that you were born into, that you already existed in when you came into creation. It was already there. You rolled in with a mom, dad, whatever you came into the world with, you had to set up. The water issue is what I moved into my own camp, and I chose to bring Aquafina in here and Dasani and the mother. I brought them in here to be nurtured. Like that was me. So when it goes wrong on that instance, then it's like, that was my fault. I went to Sam's and got the wrong pack. That was on me. Okay. I have nothing bad I can say in regards to that. But right. But what I say is blood thicker than water. In my book, I would say no. I would say I agree with Jahmez. Everybody in mesh is the same. And everybody has the same opportunity to rise up and be more. And when they choose not to, it's them.
Pretty much. Yeah. I don't see it as that. I treat people accordingly.
I agree.
I handle you accordingly. You give me booty, I give you booty. I'm like, straight up. I can't give you no more than what I'm supplied with. So
I can't say what I'm giving out. So on that note, let's end out. Let's end out on that.
I like that.
Let's end out, and we can see what positive messages can we drop on the board on our way out.
I would say put yourself amongst it all. You know what you want. You know what you need in your life. You know what you can handle. Go with it. Go with your gut. You smart enough to discern what you need. So yeah, handle that. You got it.
I was gonna say I'm gonna follow behind her and say sometimes when it comes to family, sometimes in order to see the change in the family, the change has to be you. Is it fair? No. Does it suck? Yes. But it still has to be done. Sometimes that solution, it is a heavy burden to carry, but it has to be executed at some point. Somebody got to break that chain. So definitely always be in the mindset, in order to see that change. Sometimes your superpower is surviving to be able to implement that across your family. So you could be the superhero that you were intended to be. So I'm gonna just stick with that right there.
Jahmez just said a mouthful, pretty much. Be happy. Stand up for yourself, right? Stand up for yourself and be your own advocate.
I'm gonna say sometimes it's a realization of whether there's a foundation to work with or whether the foundation is destroyed. If it is destroyed, do not continue to try to build a house on a foundation that's not going to benefit and suit you. Sometimes we look for positive things to stack on top of negativity, and it just will never work out that way. You have to sometimes clear out everything and start from scratch. And that includes with your family, with friends, with loved ones, with your intimate partners. Sometimes you have to just wipe the slate clean to start over. That takes letting go. And hopefully we all can go within ourselves and find the peace enough to forgive and let go.
Yeah.
Love it.
So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And we will see you on the next episode. Love you guys.
Gang, gang, gang. Melanin
What set you represent?
Melanin.
I already know.